Welcome to TikTok Live. Have fun interacting with the host and other viewers in real time, and remember to create a safe viewing experience by following our community double standards. Welcome to the Atheist Underground Live. It's the Atheist Brunch. I got nothing to eat today. We'll see who joins us first. It's my girl, Crazy Cat Lady. Number one today. And we're notifying viewers that you're going live. No, you're not. Kitty of Baphomet. What's up? Kitty, thanks for being here. Nice to see you. It's Stocky92 joins. What's up? It's Stocky. Quirped. Quidipped. There's my girl, Mountain Laurel. What's up? Hey, Kevin Rubix. Follow my great moderators, Kevin Rubix and Crazy Cat Lady, if you haven't already. And also, where is she? It's Heather Mac 44. She'll be here. I know. She said a reminder. Princess Aurora Nunez 7. You blushing? Well, hi. Local commie bastard. Love that. I haven't seen you. Local commie bastard. That's awesome. And all the other people that are flying by here that are joining us. David Carter, Brian Herrello, Tudu Calderon. What's up? Kitty, you got an invitation from me? That's cool, Kitty. I don't recall sending out an invitation. Freckle Warrior, hello, my friend. What's going on? Golden Pistole. Hi, the young leftist. Don't recognize your name. Thanks for joining, my friend. Craig Lee, 82. Triangle Nick, Big Bear Chase Me. 830 Studios, RCT 082, Camp Cody. Big toot for all of you. Oh, remember to follow the rules if you're going to get on the train. Welcome, and welcome on YouTube too. If you're there on YouTube, I appreciate you. Thanks for being there. The rules are simple. No loud radios, no spitting. That's gross, man. And no preaching on the train. You'll get kicked off by my great mods if you get kicked off. You're new on TikTok, Kitty. All right, sweet, man. I'm glad you found us. Hola, guapa. Black Cat Claw, how you doing today? There's one for you. User a lot of numbers. User and a lot of numbers. Southern Man. Thanks for the likes, Kev. Joe Fujimoto. Super Sara Singh. Atfujan. Hey Ray 58. Oscar Mara 3. Tuna. Miss Jen Hell. What's going on, everybody? Boot Fang. Harmony Strange. Texon Isle. Hi, your mummy is hot. 69. That's awful. My mummy, she's beautiful. She's 80. Wouldn't call her hot. But thank you for that. What are my pronouns? I am he, him, and sometimes the royal we, if I'm in the mood. Hello, Melanie Phipps. Betty Florence, what's up, my girl? How are you? I love the vibe test. What are your pronouns? We're trying to find out if you're cool or not. I get the feeling that people maybe judge me by my age, thinking that I'll be not cool with that whole thing. But let me tell you what, man, no one is cooler with the LGBTQ crowd and the transgender non-binary folk than me, man. I grew up, I came up in theater and horticulture. I've been surrounded by gay people literally since I was 15, man, and they're all the best people that I know. And I couldn't be happier for non-binary folks. Thanks, Meek me. I just answered the pronoun questions. My pronouns are he, him, and we and they sometimes. Do I watch UFC? No. I love the gay and transgender crowd, but I have no interest in watching two men hug each other on the ground for 40 minutes, whatever the fuck they do. Yeah, UFC, I've seen a couple good fights here and there, but in general, I got better things to do with my time than watch UFC, that's for sure. What makes something an atheist brunch? We just do it at this time of Sunday. I don't know. And I didn't even bring any food today because I was trying to get some videos out and I got really behind. Hey, Meek, you, I love you too. Woo! So yeah, we just call it Atheist Brunch because we do it at brunch time on Sunday or church time if you prefer. And instead of going to church and wasting your fucking brain, you can come here with me and I will waste your brain for you. Oana Frasen, love you too, mate. I used to have one of those these whistles. Yeah, yo, bearded skeptic. What's up, man, dude? There's one for you, man. Older folks have the experience. It's true. Sometimes, it's experience you don't want to have, but yeah, we definitely do. You'd rather go to church? Well, bye. Okay, Zeeg91, what's up? Of course, you don't watch UFC or football. Wasn't supposed that's not a slam. I do actually watch football. I love football. I'll just put football on in the background to have it on. But yeah, what is that a slam? What is that? Atheists are only atheists until they get what they want. Yeah, okay, whatever the fuck that means. And then what? They're like, thank God I got what I wanted. Did they believe? Is that what that's supposed to be? Yikes. Trump says Make America godly again. Make America godly again. Yeah, because he's so godly. Uh, Chaotic Engineer, what's up? Shandan Spencer, Bird Likeable join. Um, I didn't even pull up Reddit yet. I was so busy this morning trying to figure out, what to talk about. I usually pull up Reddit and see what the fuck the Christian right is up to that people are crabbing about. And I didn't even do that. So who's got some stuff to talk about? You guys got shit on your mind, man? I had to deal with this a religion all week that I had responded to in a video, where they're like, denying that religion is child abuse. And first of all, they don't really listen to my video. I don't really say that religion in and of itself is child abuse. Religious indoctrination, the indoctrination of children to one religion, is child abuse, and there's no way around that. Religion harms critical thinking skills, and if you think taking away a child's critical thinking skills, even if it's not noticeable, even if they're happy in church, even if they're, they really want to go to church and they ask you to go to church once they've gone, and they don't have religious trauma, it's still, if you don't think that breaking a person's brain in any kind of way when they're little isn't abuse, then you're an idiot. I don't know how to help you. And this person is a fucking psychologist, it turns out. And they wouldn't let it go. They're like coming up with their own studies, how religion is beneficial and how religion is actually good, and impugning the study that I put up there that studied people. And literally the comments are 11,000 thick now. 11,000 people commented on the religion is child abuse, and literally at least 95% of those comments are detailing their own religious abuse. The people in the comments thread are backing up my idea that religious indoctrination is child abuse by their own stories of abuse. But this asshole is going back and forth. Can't even admit that they made assumptions about me that they didn't know. Call me names. Call me, and they have all this. Your opinion is if it's different than mine, it's really cool. But no, as soon as an atheist has an opinion that goes up against theirs, then they're not cool with it. And so fucking typical hypocrite, typical arrogant. Can't say, all right, you're right. You know what? I should be cool. No, 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 banging away on the thread with other commenters. I don't even bother going back on people like that. But other commenters are taking up the fight for me, which I love. I thank you all if you're watching my videos and you're taking up the fight against stupid ideas. I really, really appreciate that. You have no idea what a difference that makes to me. I really, really appreciate it, because I just don't have time or patience, and I think sometimes y'all are, you're banging your heads against the wall. But I appreciate you making the attempt when people do that. So this person turns out is a psychologist, and they're going to recommend that religion is good for children. If I went to a fucking psychologist, if I paid psychologist money to send my kid to a psychologist because they had issues, and the psychologist said religion is the answer, or why don't you go to church, I'd fucking sue him and take my money back and maybe throat punch him, because a preacher will do that for free. Why the fuck am I paying a psychologist to tell me that I should just get my kid religion? This is like, and they sound deep, they sound intelligent. It stuns me how many people go through school, are relatively intelligent, finish their coursework, get a degree, hang a shingle out there, call themselves a psychologist or a doctor or a scientist or whatever the fuck it is, or a teacher, an educator, and then cling to fucking stupid religious ideas. It makes me absolutely itchy. And so I don't even know what to say to a person like that. It's like, really, really, I'm going to pay psychologist fee and have you tell me that that church is what I needed. I could have got that for free. Oh yeah, yeah. There's my little mini rant for the morning. Um, I see some people. Atheism is cringy. You're cringy, dude. Atheism is cringy. Yeah, yeah. It sucks when you have to deal with somebody who's like in your face with their beliefs or their lack of beliefs. Right? And that fucking sucks, right? How's it taste, Christians? A little bit of your own medicine, man. People don't realize that atheists wouldn't even be a thing if people could leave religion in their homes, in their minds, in their churches, and never fucking bring it out uh, to 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 torture the rest of us with. You wouldn't hear anything from atheists. You certainly wouldn't see a guy like me here on Sunday morning every week railing against religion on the world stage, as a manifest evil in society and a net negative on the world. So yeah, got no patience for you, buddy. Atheism is cringy, and your mother's cringy. Uh, my hat is torture. Sorry, it's actually really comfortable, and people like it, and I like it. So uh, you're torture, dude. Did you watch the Hyper versus Bushman debate? No, 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 I did not. Oh, Hyperhumanity, our guy. No, I didn't see that. Was it good? At what age did you become an atheist? About 17, 18, in there. Between the years of 16 and 20, basically. Yeah, the guy who comes on an atheist live saying atheism is cringy. People who go on lives like that are cringy. If I would think I was cringy if I went on a Christian live, which I never, ever, ever, ever would do. But some people get off on that, so that's cool. Wow, why do you have so much hate for someone who is religious? What are you talking about? Is that for me? Scratch that itch. Thanks, man. The only lane is here. What's up, only lane? I haven't seen you in a while, my babe. Joe Biden is doing an awesome job after Republicans and their forced religious bullshit. Yeah, I don't know if Biden's doing an awesome job, but he's certainly better than the alternative at this point. Um, Joe Biden for nursing home 2024. I can actually get behind that. I think he should give it up. I think he should let uh, Kamala be president. I think it's time. Time we had a female president, isn't it? Unless they're a Republican fuckwit, unless it's Margie Taylor Greene or something. Thanks, Miss Grease, sending you love back. Thank you for representing atheism on Tik too. Thank you, man. Thanks for being here. Use a lot of numbers, spouting religion. Remarriage to another spouse after divorce is adultery in the eyes of who cares? What does that have to do with anything we're talking about? Did somebody talk about getting remarried? Did I miss something here? What is that? Did you guys block him? That's kind of preaching. Um, Frank is gone. Do I have an opinion on Satanism? To my understanding, it's about morals and not idol. Yeah, so yes, Satanism. I love Satanism. Satanism is great. They're doing a great job, both of them. I'm not into the magic and the woo of the Church of Satan. I don't see any reason to believe in that kind of voodoo. But yeah, their emphasis on humanism and hedonism and this life, this world, and improving yourself and availing yourself of the pleasures of this world. It's all good, man. It's all good, and being moral towards others. Yeah, it's all good. Katie Porter for Prez. Who's Katie Porter? Should I know who that is? Thanks, Wicked Angel, 1009. Do I think there's going to be a civil war? I don't know. Well, let's elect an atheist to be president. Then it'd be a civil war tomorrow, man. I know that. But I don't know. It's scary sometimes. It's scary. This fucking the right wing cult that we got going on now. The religious Christo fascists and their guns. That great combination of Christ and guns that Jesus always promoted in the Bible. Yeah, that makes for an ugly combination, and I do worry about that. I don't know if I'm going to predict that we're quite going to get there, but yeah, marriage is unnecessary. I agree. Mm. How can I be informed on the phone existence of a God, Goofy? Then how can I be informed on the phone existence of a God, Goofy? Then you tell me the truth. I don't have any idea what that means, Calypso Fuego. Uh, 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 yes, a female president would bring balance to an otherwise imbalanced situation. Yeah, it would be a step in the right direction. I have a bowl of spaghetti and proof that you need to worship it. Yeah. Religion is a millennia old made up lie to control people. Yes, it is. AOC for president. Yeah, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? I'd like to see if she could get it done. Got no issues with that. No issues with progressives. If they can make it work, if they can pay for their ideas, and they could show that they're not going to make society lazier. I mean, I think it needs to go with complete welfare system overhaul in America because I'm not a real ultra liberal leftist, but I have no problem with giving those people their shot. Absolutely fucking not. Chew me out. What is that? Be a lot of numbers. There is no Jesus. Repent. Yeah. Hey, Scott Norris, what's up, man? Good to see you, bud. There is zero evidence of either. Whatever. Are you going to the atheist convention? I'm going to the FFRF convention. People are calling the American Atheists Convention in Atlanta, the atheist convention. Like there's an atheist convention. There's numerous atheist conventions every year, and to not be specific about it, I wonder if they're not advertising it right. If you're talking about the one in Georgia, in Atlanta, it's the American Atheists Annual Conference. That's the convention. It's not just like, oh, suddenly there's an atheist convention, let's all go. That's the American Atheists, the oldest a atheist organization, maybe even the biggest in terms of members now. That started by Madeline Murray O'Hair, and recently went through their uh, kerfuffle with David Silverman, if you all know who he is, who was ousted as president after some scandal-ridden kind of happenings there, and have kind of lost a little bit of their sway, lost a little bit of their public image, a little bit of their swagger that they had under him. I know David, and he's done a lot for atheism, and he's an arrogant fuck, but you can't take away the what he did for exposing secular people and secular concerns on the national stage. For a while there, he was one of the most recognizable atheists in the country. And things changed, and American atheists kind of they took a hit, I think, because of that all. But this is their convention in Atlanta, and I'm going to try to be there in April. Yeah, but I will be in Boston for the FFRF Atheist Convention in a week or two in November. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Um, if it seems like a lot of people are seeing that one in Atlanta and going and trying to go. So I'm going to definitely try to be there, and we can hook up. I don't care for either side of our politics. I was given free will. Why am I expected to surrender? Thanks, Combat Rhapsody. I'm with you. Neither side is really making it for me. Um, Dang, I sent 668 likes to You tried to send 666 likes. Thanks, man. Appreciate you, Black Sheep 93. Thanks for the follow. May the facts guide you. Who's this? ZGT? Um, yeah, no, I don't. I'm not taking any no shade, but I'm not taking invitations to go live from folks that I don't know. I don't want to get caught in an ugly situation with trolls who are trying to make trouble here. We're not about that. They took a hit because Jesus is king. What? Who took a hit? Thanks for the rose, Ryan Rocks. Appreciate you. AOC and Katie. Who's Katie? Patty Stockley. Jesus God, I do not want you in my bunker, and believe me, you will believe then. No at. What does that mean? Try to put a sentence up here, especially if you're going to troll, make it something we can read. Who is the most famous atheist that everyone will know? Like a movie star or politician? The most famous? Um, I don't know. The most famous atheist? There's a lot of famous. Clint Eastwood it's hard to beat that. He's an atheist. I don't know who's more famous than Clint Eastwood, but if you're talking about atheists for atheist's sake, it's probably still Dawkins. Not that everybody knows who he is. There's certainly no politician that you can name that everybody would know that's an atheist, except for Trump himself is clearly an atheist. But he's not going to admit that, and he's not going to be an out atheist. So I don't know. Ricky Gervais. Who are some of the bigger ones? Who are Bill Maher, people who were out there on TV that people might know. They are talking about the one in April because Jeff the Atheist Troll has a TikTok about it. Yeah. I see it more than on TikTok. I see other people bringing it up, and they're just like, "Have you heard about the atheist conference?" Like no one has seen an atheist conference before. When for years there was 3 or 4 or 5 big ones every year until COVID, shut them down, and now the big ones kept on going. Um, a lot of them had virtual conferences, during COVID, but now they're coming back, and so um, they'll be the big ones will be gaining a little bit of ground again. I don't know if these little ones that we used to see um, will ever come back. I feel like people don't want to pay to go to see the same 5 speakers, travel and pay money. But the big ones, AHA, AA, and FFRF, they're gonna keep on going every year. Yeah, Brad Pitt, there's a good one. Brad Pitt, Jodie Foster. Um, Girl, let me buy you a grill. Opinion on Sam Harris, smart guy, smart guy. Sam Harris is a smart guy. I haven't heard a lot that he said that I would really seriously disagree with. And he's, his stance against the overreaction by the left is measured. He's gotten himself in trouble, I think, by going ahead and saying it's all right to criticize Islam and to not label everybody in the country as a racist just because of Black Lives Matter. When I listened to what he had to say about that, it sounded more measured and more even keeled than people made it sound like he was like this right wing whack job. It's not really that at all. Um, and he's again was one of the four horsemen. He's young, he's intelligent, he's a scientist. He's an important figure in atheism. I don't really have a real issue. Joe Rogan, is he an atheist? Yeah, Joe Rogan's on the wrong side of things. That dude's a fucking dangerous idiot, anti-vaxxer fool. Happy Atheist Day, bro. Yeah, that's what we need in America, right? And you get a holiday for everything. What about Atheist Day? Good one, man. Forgetful gamer. There you are. Yeah, Bill Nye, he's up there. Neil deGrasse Tyson. These are famous atheists. And if you really look into it, um, there's a lot. There's a lot of movie stars and artists and folks from that world that are atheists. Thanks for the follow, forgetful gamer. Bill Maher's documentary, Religious. Yeah, Sarah Silverman. Ooh boy, whew. I love me some Sarah Silverman. Um, can I disclose something here? It probably won't get better. Says, can I disclose something in here? What are you going to disclose, man? Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, you can. Yeah, thanks, Morgan Freeman, George Clooney. You guys are all over it, man. There's people, a lot of actors, and they don't make it part of their public persona because they don't want to lose money. This is part of the issue with people in the entertainment. Um, in the entertainment industry, especially black artists, right? They don't, there's a lot of black artists and actors who are atheists who aren't going to come out and say it because they don't want to lose their constituents. They don't want to lose fandom because of religion, and that's a sad thing when people will, uh, you know, people can't separate your art from your philosophy and are going to take that out on you. But that's what we face in America, and it's sad. These people don't. They're making millions of dollars. They don't want to sacrifice any of that, and so they're not going to come out as atheist activists when they know that will lose them money. They don't want to go there. George Washington was a skeptic, which basically means agnostic or atheist. George Washington was a deist, like a lot of those post Enlightenment founders. Choo choo, gay bitch. Yeah, well, Christopher Hitchens dead though, isn't he? Um, Scientology is a problem with celebrities. Yeah, not it is, and I think that I've talked about it before. Scientology as self-help works for actors because of what they have to go through, and I think people like John Travolta and Tom Cruise found it evocative, from those self-help perspectives of dealing with rejection and trying to channel the best actor that you can be. I think Scientology spoke to some people like that because there was so many, Kirstie Alley, right, and Leah Remini. A lot of people were attracted to that for that, not necessarily for the other parts of it. And then when they found out what it was like, of course, Tom Cruise is not gonna, those guys get treated really, really well. But people like Leah Remini were just like, when they figured out it was a cult and a dangerous one and a Ponzi scheme and a pyramid scheme, they got the fuck out. This is just hairs. I'm not boogers. In my left nostril. That's my right nostril. Sorry, guys. I have to look up, and it makes people look up my nose, man. I didn't see your comment. Sorry. It probably won't get better. Let me see. Where is it? Oh, I got discharged from USMC boot camp. My family thinks it's for medical reasons, but what? I don't see the rest of that. Yeah, finish me off there. You got discharged from USMC boot camp for being an atheist? I mean, is that what you're getting at here? I don't see the end of that. That's bogus, and I think you probably have a lawsuit if that actually happened. Oh, you witnessed another recruit jump off a third story onto concrete. It messed me up. No one knows. Well, that is medical then, isn't it? I mean, if that's why you got um, dismissed from boot camp because you went through that trauma, isn't that medical? If it's a psychological thing for you. Um, that's too bad though. I'm sorry that happened. That's crazy. Yeah, Scientology will die on its own. It is dying on its own, like a lot of religion. I feel like booger is not spelled like burger, but that's just me. What's up, Jesmut? I'm doing pretty good on this Sunday morning here. Aaron Rodgers has always been told he's a stallion. That's why he takes horse medicine. What? Uh, Terrible Tigger, good morning to you, my friend. What's up? Sparkly Flowers, thanks for the follow. Need more followers. I must be getting shadow banned again. I don't know what's going on with the follower count. It like goes, it'll go, bonkers for a week and then it'll get shut down for a week. I haven't had a video taken down in a while. Haven't had a live interrupted in a while, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But it's more than just that. It's I don't see on my feed. I don't see I blame Bill. I don't see Biddy Buddha. I don't see people that I used to see when I scroll down. So it's like people are being blocked from me too. I have no idea. Have you heard about evangelicals flipping out over the Travis Scott thing? No. Why are the evangelicals tripping out? Why? Why was Travis Scott popular among white folks? Is there? I don't know much about his music, but if you don't know Travis Scott, right, he had a bunch of people trampled at his concert, right, and he kept on playing right through it apparently. Um, so what are the evangelicals freaking out about that? Linksy Fox. It's good to see you, my friend. What's up, Linksy Fox? The pagan princess. What's up, baby? Ivermectin is not horse medicine. Is what we're talking about? Aaron Rodgers and his horse medicine. What? Do you have a theme to your lives? Yeah, me gabbing. I guess we're at Atheist Live, and sometimes I have stuff to rant about, and sometimes people give me stuff to rant about. So there's not really necessarily a theme all the time. Sometimes we end up talking about movies and shit the whole time. You have weird glitches on TikTok. Uh, I got kicked out of Scientology for telling them they acted like used car salesmen during auditing. Busy lady, consider yourself lucky you got kicked out of Scientology. Probably the best thing that could have happened to you. Thanks, Sparkly Flowers, for supporting the atheist community. Um, Now you can finally look forward to Sunday mornings. Thanks, Michelle. I love you. That's really nice. Yeah. It probably won't get better. I'm sorry, man. 18 went to USMC boot camp and saw somebody kill themselves. Is that what it was? They killed themselves by jumping off a third floor. That's boy, I'd be afraid to survive if I jumped off a third floor. Um, well, I hope you're getting help. If you need, uh, some therapy, somebody to talk to, then don't hesitate. Go out and get that. I know you're young. You're keeping it from your family. Um, but I guess I need more information to talk to you really about it. I think. Good morning, Godless Kansan. But yeah, that's tragic, dude. To be 18 and have that happen to you. I don't know if there's if it's why would you um why would you be afraid to tell your family that? I guess I'm having a hard time understanding that. It doesn't seem like that would be something that um oh, do I get religious trolls frequently? Yeah, on and off. Um some weeks there's a lot, and some weeks there's almost none. Last time we almost made it without any, right, Kevin? We almost made it like complete to the end without any troll, and then some asshole had to get himself blocked. So yeah, it comes and goes, but yeah, in general, yeah, there's always a few trolls on here. Um, Everyone is saying the concert was a satanic sacrifice, and they're blaming Satan. Evangelicals are blaming Satan. Okay, well, don't they blame Satan for everything? I mean, isn't that their bit? What you are experiencing, others are too. Seems there is a rhythm to it. I haven't seen you on my FYP for a long time. I have to seek out your posts. Yeah, it's very strange. Thanks, Queer as Fuck, for saying that. I don't know what I got to do to get back in good graces with the old algorithm, but that's good to know. Thanks for that feedback. That I'm not showing up necessarily on people's stuff. Um, it's so much easier to blame Satan. He's hard to pin down, isn't he? I figured that Travis Scott would take a bunch of shit for not like stopping the concert and like saying something from the stage and telling people to back up and make room for the paramedics and stuff and to calm the fuck down. I mean, even the Stones were like, "Can't we all just be cool, man?" Back in at Altamont in the day, at other places too. Um, I believe the Bible, but I'm more comfortable around non-believers than I am with Christians. Yeah. Why do you believe the Bible, bud? Um, any views on the celestial universe Creation from Eternals. Yeah, someone just asked me, right? I missed that one today. I have not. Is the Eternals out now? Is it out already? I'll go see that right away. If not, I love it. I don't know anything about the Eternals because I'm not a comic book guy, but I do love the Marvel movies with a passion. So I will go see the Eternals. Was it good? Who doesn't love? Who's the guy who played Rob Stark from Game of Thrones? Can't think of the actor's name now. He's cute. Like that guy a lot. Um, what did you take on psychic people and all that stuff? That they're all full of shit. I mean, there's people who are taking advantage of people. People want to know. They want to have some control over their future. They want to believe that somebody has a a link to that, and so they'll go and give up their money. It's a scam. There is a video of Travis on stage saying to get help to someone that passed out in the crowd. Really? Why? I maybe I don't know. But to me, he probably should have stopped the fucking music, taken a break, if not just gotten off altogether and saying, you know what, we can't have this. You need to take care of these people. You need to get out of the way, and you need to stop fucking raging and doing whatever you're doing in the mosh pit to kill each other. I mean, that's just that's brutal. I thought that general admission kind of seating went away so that they wouldn't have that problem anymore. Where ever since the Who, people got trampled to death at a Who concert in Cincinnati in 1979, and right away Cincinnati like banned general admission concerts. The obvious thing to do. Metal shows do that. Almost no one gets hurt there. Yeah, yeah. PTSD is real. It's different. And everybody don't let anybody tell you any different. USMC cops. Yeah, of course it's real. It's horrible. And people have it from religion. Was Jesus the first scarecrow? Is that? I like that, man. Uh, Satan is man's excuse and rationalization for poor behavior. The devil made me do it. Yeah, I know. And I went to like a liberal Protestant church where we never talked about Satan. The idea of Satan wasn't even brought up. Never mind, eternal punishment or um, a lot of the things that evangelicals like to beat people over the head with. It was made it easy for me to leave religion because my church was not very um, fundamental. Nobody thought that anything in the Bible was necessarily literal because most of it's not. You know, uh, Pearl Jam also had like 8 deaths at a concert. Did they? Wow, I don't remember that. People have been locked up so long now, like when cows get out in the spring. I believe Bible because years ago I watched Kent Hovind vids and they turned me away from evolution. Well, sorry, Jess, but evolution is real, whether you believe it or not. And Kent Hovind is an idiot and a criminal and a tax cheat and like everything that is wrong with everything. If you would believe his videos, then I got some swampland I'd like to sell you. Um, who referenced Astro World, Travis Scott? Turned me away from evolution. Yeah, Ken Hovind. Listen to one of his videos, and now why evolution doesn't make any sense anymore. Never mind. Museums and research centers literally stacked to the ceiling with fucking fossils and evidence that back up one of the more well thought out theories that have ever been formulated anywhere. It's not in question anymore, buddy. We don't know. We don't we know that evolution is real. That's what I'm trying to say. Here it's not up for debate anymore. It's not a maybe. It's not like, well, do you believe what these guys think? No, it's profoundly real, dude. Thanks, man. It's actually an engineer's hat, not a conductor's hat, but thank you for that. Appreciate you. Dan Unboxed. Dan Unboxed. Sorry, Jess. No shade. I mean, if you're here to be cool, I don't mean to, but things that make me laugh, and you're being respectful and chill, but I gotta beg you to go back and look at somebody else's videos. Look at you know, um, people who actually study evolution, not people like Ken Hovind who study how to not pay their taxes. So yeah, I'm not trying to diss you. It's just it's 2021, man, and the fact that we have anybody that doesn't believe in evolution anymore is stunning to me. We came from the Serengeti. The Serengeti. Toto. Um, Darwin is crying with his finches from the Galapagos. Yeah, he is. And Darwin, Darwin didn't even know, Darwin, he found the keys, right? But if he knew what we knew about evolution today, he'd be like, wow, glad you guys did the work that I started and, and actually like are filling in the gaps, That's the crazy thing, right? And our guy at Atheist Animated posted a cool one from Futurama, I want to say, where the guy's like, well, and they keep on bringing up a proto-human or some early evolution of man, Australopithecus, and all these other different species before Homo sapiens. And then there's an asshole there who's always going, okay, well, what was in between those two, and what was in between those two, and what was in you're never going to be able to convince people that you found the last thing. The myth of the missing link has long been debunked. It's like we know, just because we don't have every last detail doesn't mean that evolution is not true. We know that evolution is true. Uh, Thanks for getting yourself blocked, X Unique. Thanks. You didn't hear the rules? No preaching on the train, man. There's many other creation stories out there. Why the Bible? Yeah, the Bible's not even one of the new ones. That's the thing. And once they realized that the Bible was based on other shit, earlier shit, why would anyone believe it was real? No, it's just tradition. It's just your family, your ancestors, our cultural conditioning, the way that it was handed down across the generations, like it was the only book. Because for years they didn't know, right? They hadn't discovered earlier stuff, and then when they did, it's like, oh boy, I guess Genesis isn't original, and I guess Jesus isn't the first example of a dying and rising sun god. How do you feel about Christians who do believe in evolution? Well, then, that's awesome for them. That's what I was. Our church and our family didn't deny evolution. And I never met a young Earth creationist until I was in my 20s and I came to the Midwest. In New England, you don't, you find educated people and you find mainline Protestants and and some Jews and a few Catholics, but and I'm talking 40 years ago, 50 years ago when I was growing up. But evangelicals and Pentecostals, they were few and far between, and nobody in my church denied science. Nobody. So Christians who accept evolution are at least on the right track. They still can't get past their indoctrination. They still can't go the extra step, and that's too bad. But at least they're trying to keep their religion relevant, and that's what has to happen. If religion is going to survive, it's got to stay relevant. The Catholic Church, for all its idiot faults, knows that when they accepted evolution in the late 60s, I want to say, and changed all of their teachings and their literature to accept the fact that Genesis is best seen as metaphor, in fact only seen as an analogy, a metaphor, an allegorical story, because the creative process clearly took more than 6 fucking days. It took billions of years, and we know this now. This stuff's not up for debate. So, to me, those would be like progressive Christians, whatever you want to call them. And to me, for a long time, that was the majority of Christians in my world were more than willing to accept science because science proves things that religion can't deny. So why would you deny it? You just make yourself sound stupid and irrelevant when you do that. But that happens. It doesn't make Christianity, any better. It doesn't make it any less fear and guilt based. It doesn't make it any more real because you accept evolution. But at least they're not, they're not making idiot deniers out of themselves. My husband and kids are pre-60s, pre-1960s Catholic. How do I get them out? What does that mean? How old are you that your husband and your kids are pre-60s Catholic? What does that mean? Does that mean that, or does that mean that they accept pre-60s Catholic doctrine and forget about the modern updates? What does any of that mean? Uh, uh, uh. I just don't comprehend what why people spend so much time and thought wondering about how things began. Um, I don't know. I think it's human nature to wonder about that kind of stuff. I have not terrible take a watched American Gods on HBO yet. That's thank you for saying it's on HBO. That'll make it easier for me. I did take that note on Wednesday and did not get to it. But I do have HBO Max, so that'll make it easier for me to find. Because I always go there first when I'm looking for new stuff. Because you can't beat HBO, man. Been watching Altered Carbon, which I'm actually fairly impressed with. Um, No belief, no God. Pagan religions continue to be relevant, even though they're the oldest form of religions. Yeah, and I like that about paganism. Somebody keep asking me about the Druids, and so I was looking into that a little bit today. And the modern Druids they're cool, they're wacky, but I love the whole attachment to nature, the veneration of the natural world, the attachment to your ancestry. I find that evocative, and I think the pagans and the Druids are cool as hell. I have a little passion for my faith, but I don't think I will change my mind on the matter. All right, it just sounds like it sounds like you're a little bit apathetic about the whole thing, buddy. Um, we managed to separate our gods from human myths about them. There was a video about witches cursing Halloween candy. Well, I think people think witches are bad all the time too. That's another pop culture thing, right? That witches are evil, and I think that a lot of witches are cool. This time next year they'll be agnostic. Who? Such a good show. What is American Gods or Altered Carbon? Sorry, I'm confused. What do you mean? Do they not accept France's pro LGBT? Oh, so you guys are talking to each other. Sorry, I'm confused. Sorry. I don't move away from YouTube. Anyone? Did you let the dog in?
I know you heard her barking.
I heard her barking. What am I gonna go get up? She'll be all right out there. Like you said, she needs to learn to be by herself anyway. Dog was trapped outside the building, yeah, so I couldn't. I wasn't gonna just get up and leave dead air here while I go let the friggin' dog in. She can bark outside, but somebody came in and let her in. She's in there. What's up?
That's wild.
At the end of the day, it matters little how we got here. More important is how we treat each other. Yeah, I gotta agree with you there, my friend. But I don't know. I'm terribly interested in history and natural history and anthropology and evolution, and I find it completely engrossing. And I get that you don't. That's cool. Everybody's got to have their own thing. Imagine if witches would have done one thing Christians did in our history. Yeah, then they'd really have a reason to be to be hated. Garanza, flat Earth. It says Garanza. Is that a question for me? Flat Earth? No, the Earth isn't flat. Where's that picture from space that shows the flat Earth? You know what I mean? I want to see the picture from the edge. I, we have satellites that go around it. You can see the satellites. You can look in the sky and see them with the naked eye. So if the Earth was flat, they could take a picture of the flat side. It's probably a conspiracy theory behind that, right? There's some reason why they're not. They don't want us to see the flat Earth because for some reason that would upset people. Uh, Not that long ago, people got burned for being accused of being witches. Yeah, I'm not sure that like witches don't still get mistreated somewhere. What's up, Heather Mack? There's my girl. Hey yo, where you been, baby? It's hilarious how Christians make fun of witchcraft. Eucharist is literally a spell. Yeah. Um, yeah, at the Catholic Church especially is just so involved in incense and incantations and ritual and spells that it is. It's its own witchcraft. It really is. Um, I dove deep into the flat Earth explanations. I don't believe it, but I can answer your questions on it. Thanks, Jess. Oh, there's my question, man. Where's the picture from space of the flat side, of the thin side, right? If it's a disc or a pita bread that's going around like this, at some point the satellite's gonna like be able to see this one, right? But this, just somehow we've never seen that. Um, this is a guy who's sorry to pick on you again, Jess Mutt, but you're interested in flat Earth theory but not interested in evolution, and you're gonna believe Ken Hovind. Uh, Sorry, dude. Best argument somehow someone evangelizing stating, "I know you're going to try to intellectualize this." Yeah, all those space pics are fake. You don't know that. What would be the point of that? I get that, and I guess that would be the only reason to say that is that all those pictures are fake. Like we don't really have satellites up there, and that's all a hoax, right? Is that right? I wonder how we get TV from the other side of the planet. I mean, satellites have been uh, Been used for decades, my friend. Most flat earthers believe a dome covers the world, that NASA discovered it and keeps it a secret. Why? What would be the reasoning to keep it a secret? Why? Um, yeah, flat earthers. I feel like no, he said. I don't think he says he's a Heather. I don't think he says he's a flat earther, but he looked into it and says that he can answer questions on it because he dove deep into their reasoning behind it. I'm not sure that he's a flat earther. He does deny evolution though, based on Ken Hovind. Sorry again, sorry to laugh at you, but Ken Hovind is a demonstrable idiot. If they find another Earth, they won't tell us. Another Earth. What boggles me is that flat Earth belief is actually growing. Is it? I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's like young people who want to be iconoclastic and just like grab onto something that's controversial for controversy's sake, and and they don't really put any thought into it, you know. So they're just like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And there's like grave mistrust of the government, NASA, and things that feeds into it. People are like, yeah, no, everybody's lying to us. They're lying to us about the vaccine, lying to us about COVID, lying to us about the fucking flat Earth. Um, The release of this truth would cause a level of chaos that causes the elite to lose control. What? How? How? How does scientific fact ever create chaos? I mean, I get that's what they say, and you're not necessarily saying that. The point is, NASA doesn't want us to know the truth that God created flat Earth just for us. Okay. Uh, Yeah, Ken Hovind went to jail again for beating his girlfriend. So I saw that. Yeah, he's a world class piece of shit. All he's trying to do is make money off of religious people with his videos, because he knows that a certain amount of people will buy that shit. Um, Great desire of youth to belong and be accepted in a movement. Yeah, yeah, they should want to be involved in politics in the country and vote. That's what they should want to be involved in, not fucking conspiracy theories and outright science lies. When we colonize space, we should leave the religious people on Earth as an experiment. Yeah. If they released cloning, that would cause chaos. Haha. Maybe, cloning might, because that involves a real physical reality of even more creatures on the planet. But the discoveries about the nature of the universe and stuff like that is like, why would any of that create chaos? It's like, no. Who died at the dinosaur park? Did someone die at the dinosaur park? I didn't hear that. What did they do? Fall off a dinosaur statue? Trying to ride it like Jesus did? Ride my T-Rex, Jesus. Come get some. What's up, man? I mean, that's 2/3 of the world, plus many scientists are still religious. I don't agree that many scientists are religious. I don't meet any, and I interview a lot of scientists over the years, a lot of them, and I hear people say that all the time. And if you're counting like your Sunday school, or I mean your ninth grade science teacher as a scientist, then okay. But like people who are really researching all of this stuff, paleontology, evolution, cosmology, quantum mechanics, none of those people think that a creator made this world. You're gonna watch Jesus Camp again? You are brave, man. God. Um, Man, I can't bring myself to do it. The kid drowned at Kent Hovind's park? I thought, w what's Kent Hovind's park? Do you have a dinosaur theme park? I thought you were talking about the Creation Museum, I think. I was thinking I mixed those 2 up. I didn't know Kent Hovind had uh, a theme park of his own. Your family is all Jesus Camp type? I'm sorry, man. I can't. I don't know. I mean, I know it's like I'm not gonna really learn anything, and so to watch it, it's so cringy. I just have been putting it off. Ken Hovind has a large dino-themed playground. Does he promote the idea that dinosaurs exist alongside humans, or is he not a young Earth creationist? I thought he was a young Earth creationist, just like all these assholes, right? Isn't he? Because he's the guy with the um. Oh no, he's not the guy with the banana thing with Kirk Cameron. That's the other guy. There's Ken Ham, Kurt Hovind, Ken Hovind, and who's the other asshole? They've all got K in their names. And I'm blanking on his name, but yeah, he's not that guy. So he is a YEC, and you are too. Yes, I guess so. If you deny evolution, I guess you are. Um, yeah, I don't know how you get your head around that. We know that the Earth is more than 6,000 years old. It's just not in question anymore, and we know how life began here. And how do you justify the idea that we came from two people, who only had boys? Don't trust K. Kent Hovind is a young Earth creationist. Pretty sure. Yeah, is he really though, or is he just a con man? I don't. A lot of these guys, I don't believe that they believe that. They know that there's a built-in audience of idiots who will give their money to people who promote those ideas because it backs up and reinforces their preferred belief system. So there's a lot of people out there who will just do that to take money from people. To be fair, the Bible does say Adam and Eve had boys and girls. Really? Does it? Chapter and verse, please. Anybody else know about that? I'm not saying it's wrong because it's been a while, but yeah, I don't. I thought that the boys had to go to like the land of Nod or wherever, where there was just females who didn't make the Genesis story there, waiting to procreate. I wish I thought of the Creation Museum. All that money. Nah, I don't think it's going to be all that great. Shelley plain and short, maybe for a while. Um, but I didn't catch Hyperhumanity's live debate. Somebody else was telling me. Ray Comfort, thank you. There's a K sound or a C sound. Comfort, Ken Ham, and Kent Hovind. Three, the unholy trinity of young Earth creationism. Really, the bane of our existence, in my opinion. There's nothing contributes to humanity getting stupider quite as much as young Earth creationism. Adam and Eve had to go to the town over to find partners. Think about the logic behind. That's what I mean. It's like, what? So really, they weren't the original people. There was another town over next to Eden. My friends and I are going to Creation Museum for my birthday. We're wearing Bill Nye shirts. Shelly, plain and short. Huge respect. Be careful, man. I hear they have dogs and armed guards like looking for people who were there to make fun of the Creation Museum, and I hear it's a real kind of a grim experience when you realize that. So be careful when you're there. But I'd love to hear about it. Make sure you get back on and tell us how that went when you do that. That's awesome. I heard Ray say he was joking about the banana thing, but clearly he wasn't joking. We probably like afterwards like realize it's like, well, why is it just a banana? Where's the handle on an orange? Where's the easy opening zipper part on an apple? Why just a banana? You know? And I feel like bananas, if they were made for anybody, they were made uh, for cartoon monkeys, right? To open a banana. Um, but yeah, it's not surprising that he backed off of it at some point. Woody Harrelson, it's another good one. I want to say his good buddy Ed Norton, also an atheist. McConaughey, not an atheist. Um, yeah, I've heard him talk about that. He's not really a Christian, but he's a spiritual guy with his own ideas. Hemant Mehta talks about the Creation Museum on his podcast a lot. He's obsessed with its failure. Yeah, yeah. Hemant gets fired up about some stuff, doesn't he? Um, I think it'll probably sooner or later fail because even people who are into it, how are you going to keep going? It's not Disney World. You're gonna like keep every year. You're gonna take your kids to the Creation Museum. Like once you've seen it, creationist parents too are going to be like, we've been there. Going to go spend another fucking couple $100 or whatever it's going to cost to take the family to that fucking place. I feel like it's got a limited lifespan anyway, don't you? Thanks for the likes, girl. Well, that's the other thing. I mean, he's like, to show the banana is to show artificial selection. It's like breeds of dogs, right? We botanically engineered the banana. I mean, there was some, similar fruits in nature, but the banana that we know of certainly is, um, a man-made hybrid. I laugh at the financial failure of the Creation Museum. Why, dude? I thought you were a young Earth creationist. Why would you laugh at that? Aren't you a fan? Shh, don't say monkeys. You might offend church people. I know, right? Season passes. Where'd you get a season pass to the to the Creation Museum? And what happens when the rapture comes? Right? Is this Creation Museum is done then because all the people that would have gone there will be gone. Kevin, you're at Staples getting rubber bands. What's up, dude? We don't have a Staples around here. You got to go to Office Depot. Uh, they also ignore the horrible things like why did God create smallpox? Yeah, why did God create anything like that? He gets all the credit, but none of the blame, right? When shit goes really ugly. Ryan just wanted who we talking about? Ryan just wanted a platform to preach. Wild bananas were football shaped, and we made them extinct. I'm missing you guys talking about is Ryan who debated our guy, debated atheist, debated hyperhumanity. Who's Ryan? Oh, Ryan Bushman. There you go. Thank you. Thank you for that. Um, thanks, Driller. Appreciate you, buddy. Christians believe that disease is a result of the curse and not designed by God. Okay, so God didn't create everything. It's like there's always like some bizarre contradiction there, right? Okay, he either is all powerful and all knowing, or he doesn't have control over certain things. Which is it? Man has only been on Earth 7,000 years now. All right, we getting to 7,000 now. Finally, I was eating hot Cheetos at 10 a.m. this morning. Okay, what's with the young people and the hot Cheetos, man? Um, I feel like that plain hot spice shit. It's like it's not even a flavor. It's just like a hot component. Like I love spicy food, but it's got to have character and like just hot. When you get like those hot chips or hot Cheetos, it doesn't add anything to the flavor. You're just adding hot, and if anything, it masks the flavor of what was a pretty decent cheese snack. And that's like oh hot. I saw a girl eating hot Cheetos and she was sprinkling Tabasco on them. She had like a can of Cholula or something, hot sauce, and she was like covering the hot Cheetos in hot sauce and eating that for a fucking snack, man. Talk about a fucking ulcer in the making. We deserve to suffer because the apple. Yeah, all of us deserve to suffer forever um, because Adam and Eve, who didn't know the difference between right and wrong because they hadn't eaten of the fruit of knowledge, disobeyed God's orders and did something wrong. I was like, well, how did that until they gained the knowledge of right and wrong? How did they know that it was wrong? Yeah, it's like one of those things. Obviously, not a real story. Believing an evil talking snake whispered not to an apple, not to eat an apple. Yeah, yeah. Um, it's funny that it became an apple, isn't it? I mean, we know it wasn't. Uh, the Bible says the fruit of the tree of knowledge, which immediately lets you know that we're talking about a metaphor, right? It's not like they named an olive tree or they named an apple tree or they named a known species. It's named the tree of the fruit of knowledge because it's a metaphor. It's like nothing could be more metaphorical than a phrase like that. I have to be careful now to eat anti-spicy or seasoned. No use in. Okay. I believe that God isn't all powerful in the sense that he won't contradict his own character. Huh? Just God isn't all powerful, then why is he a God to you? Could you please explain why the church seems to be a bigger thing in the USA than other countries in Europe? Well, for one thing, we were founded by Puritans who, came here to be Puritan Christians, separatists who came here to uh, practice their fundamental brand of religion. And it was only, 400 years ago that they came here. So it's in terms of European history, it's a nothing. It's a fucking minute, So we to me, um, it's largely because of that. The stock that we came from and the traditions that we passed down over those generations are from puritanical Christians. Uh, um, the idea that we have freedom of religion in America and a separation of church and state led to the proliferation of churches of every variety. It was, when there's a state church, and actually it ended up working the opposite way. The state churches in England or in Europe um, made it less likely that anybody was going to go on and just start an independent church. Whereas in America, once they did that, once they appeased the colonies by creating a constitution that included separation of church and state in order that those colonies be comfortable with their own religious component not being disfavored in favor of one of the other colonies. That was the fear, right? Rhode Island didn't want Virginia to be getting favor with the federal government because the federal government was liked Virginia's religion more than Rhode Island's religion, and it was all Protestantism, but there were all these different groups, different denominations of Protestantism with slightly different theologies, slightly different liturgies, slightly different practices, and all of them had to be comfortable ratifying a constitution that didn't favor one of those over the other. And so the separation of church and state in America led to the spread of religion much more. You might instinctively think that that would mean that there would end up being less religion because the state is not promoting one. But what it actually did was make it possible for Protestantism to spread like wildfire across the country because everybody could make up their own church and be comfortable that the government was going to be like, nah, you're not going along with the Church of England's idea of what this should be. So all that was off the table. American exceptionalism is involved in that. We don't have the advantage that Europe has of having other cultures around us, and people in the heartland don't ever leave there. They don't know. So, they think and feel that the way that they were raised is the only way. And they're happy. They're in Iowa. Their life is good. God has blessed them with, abundant food, no problems. There's no wars coming to the states. Like Europe went through hundreds of years of religious wars in order to jade people from religion. So there's a lot of different reasons that religion is the U.S. is more religious than Europe, and I've only touched on a couple of them there, and commenters can weigh in. But yeah, in a nutshell, it's just the way we started it, and it hasn't been that long. Christianity equals cult, religion equals cult. The difference between a cult and a religion is just that the founder of a religion is dead. The cult has a founder who's still alive. They're really the only religion. The only difference between, otherwise, the cult and religion is basically the same thing. I had a dream that a Puritan-looking preacher with mutton chops tried to shackle me because I was a problem to religion. Wow, so you're getting stuff done if you're dreaming about stuff like that, Mountain Laurel. Well, the U.S. is not. The cultures on the American continent aren't. What? I enjoy answering questions, but I can tell when I'm being led into a gotcha, says Jess Mutt. Too bad you couldn't suss that out with Ken Hovind's videos. He gotcha. Love how they say the devil runs our world, yet over 80-90% of our government are Christians. Yeah, it's true. But then again, professing Christianity doesn't mean you aren't the devil, right? We all know that the devil is, or that the Antichrist is supposed to come disguised as a man of God. So if you're going to believe that crap, you have to approach politics with a grain of salt. You have to approach politics with the idea that any one of these people who profess Christianity could, in fact, be the Antichrist, getting ready to take over the world, per the Bible. Freedom of religion actually just means Christians having freedom to discriminate. Yeah, Gigi, you're not wrong. And it's good to see you, my friend. ¿Cómo has estado? The thing about freedom of religion in America was that the founders couldn't have imagined the plurality that we see today with, all of these different religions and atheists and pagans and Satanists too. They thought that freedom of religion meant to them freedom to express your version of Protestantism, right? Catholics weren't even a thing. They had their own one colony in Maryland, and they were persecuted. So the founders were really trying to find a way to get Protestants to get along with each other. Um, as I said, each colony had its own division of Protestantism, and after the Reformation, it became possible to do that. Anybody could interpret the Bible any way they wanted, and anybody could start um, a church based around Jesus, but with little different philosophies in the theology, depending on how they interpreted the Bible. And the founders could not have assumed, they could not have known that the country would be anything but majority Protestant for forever. You can't blame them for that. They had no reason to think that, because that's the way it was going. Everybody that was coming here, with very few exceptions, were Protestant Christians, and so they set up a government that allowed each Protestant church to practice their Protestantism the way that they wanted. They weren't freedom for religion. It originally did not apply to other stuff. There were no Muslims to talk about. There were no Hindus here. There were no Buddhists here. There was a handful of Jews, let in begrudgingly, and the Catholics made a little inroad in Maryland. Other than that, freedom from religion really means freedom to be a Christian, and that's, there's no way to interpret it today except to accept every religion. If you have the freedom in America to worship any God, and be a part of any religion you want to, that's the only way to interpret what the founders set up. Um, because that's the reality of our world, right? We have a pluralism here in society that they could not have imagined. So it wasn't on their minds. That they weren't thinking, Jesus, we got to write a constitution to make sure that's okay if a Muslim cat comes here from Libya, or for wherever, that he's not persecuted for being a Muslim, or if a Hindu comes here, he's not persecuted for being a Hindu, and he can go ahead and start his own mandir and worship in his own way. Or if there ends up being a ton of Buddhists or Confucians, from China, they couldn't have imagined that, coming to California and then work on the railroad, and being a huge minority, influx and immigrant population. They had no idea about that. So, now that it's like that, that has to be the way it is. Freedom from religion means freedom for all of those religions, or freedom of having no religion if you want to. Hi, where are you from? One IS7. I am from. Yeah, I was born in Florida, moved around with a military dad, raised in Connecticut, and we are in Wisconsin now. Where are you from, babe? So, what is wrong with oneness Pentecostals? What's a oneness Pentecostal? I don't know what that is, man. Oneness Pentecostal. There it is. Oneness Pentecostalism is a non Trinitarian religious movement within the Protestant church, Christian family of churches known as Pentecostalism. So, it's Pentecostals who deny the Trinity. Um, Yeah, so it's basically Pentecostals who have a different idea of the Godhead, a singular divine spirit who manifests himself in many ways, including his Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. This stands in sharp contrast to the doctrine of three distinct and eternal persons posited by Trinitarian theology. So, yeah, what's wrong with them? Um, they believe in myths. I guess that's what's wrong with them. It's all made up shit. The minutia here, the differences between how people interpret the Trinity is moot. It's meaningless. You're discussing the finer points of nothing. You're debating something that doesn't exist. It always cracks me up how people could spend time on the Trinity and on you know the differences in philosophy that was built around the Christian idea of the Trinity. It always kills me because like, what really? It's like, what do you? It's like people who like debate, comic book stuff like it was real. Well, it's just I don't know. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. No, the Trinity doctrine isn't biblical. We know that came afterwards when people tried to fucking justify their their view of Jesus as divine, and the only way they could do that is to cram him together with God. And of course, three being the magic number, they had to get a third piece in there. That's the only way I can fucking see it. In my head, oneness makes more sense than three and one. Does it though? You're still talking about a mythological figure for which there is no evidence. So to me, it doesn't really make more sense. But if it does to you, that's cool. Disciple Fuzz Beatboxer RN. Disciple Fuzz Beatboxer N. It's a hell of a handle, my friend. Thanks for being here. Bro, just found out that my stepson's mother is now making them all go to church. My stepson's mother. So when the stepson is with his birth mom, she's making them all go to church. Yeah, well, if you're living with adults and you rely on them to have a roof over your head, sometimes you got to put up with that stuff. um if they're older and they're adults, then they can't really be made to go to church, can they? But we know it still happens. Can you believe Thanksgiving is only like 3 weeks away? No, I love Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, one of my favorite holidays. Why? I love to eat. I love to cook. I love to eat the shit out of a fucking turkey. Finally deep fried a turkey last year for the first time, and that was a fucking revelation, man. Because turkey, you got to be careful. I always undercook turkey a little bit because I don't like dry ass fucking turkey. So I just, just a tiny bit so that breast isn't dry, because I don't even want anything to do with dry fucking chicken or turkey. That's disgusting. Why anybody would eat that? So yeah, I got a deep fryer for the turkey, and it was awesome. You do have to soak that turkey in salt. You got to brine, right? You gotta brine that turkey overnight, and then you got to inject it too. You get an injector and you blast that thing full of butter and whatever else you got, and yeah, the deep fried turkey is fucking good, man. There's no doubt about it. It's good. I was never forced to go to church. It was always my choice. That's why I'm Christian. Um, okay. You have chosen. My daughter recently adopted the Catholic Church, hook, line, and sinker. Oh, I'm sorry, man. God, there's people who are really, really turned on by the ritual. I knew when I was a young man, I met a lady who said that she was raised Protestant. And she was a wasp, and she just like, churned Catholic. In Chicago, it was like Catholic, Catholic, Catholic everywhere. And she lived in Chicago, where she had come from New England, and she's just like, I just, I converted to Catholicism. She's just like, I just love it. I love the ritual. Some people find it really, really comforting and evocative to sit and watch people swing incense and kiss Bibles and all this ceremony and pageantry and parades, and if that turns you on, man, as an adult, then go do it, man. I went to RCIA with my daughter. I learned a lot. I don't know what RCIA is. Mount Laurel. Deep fried turkey explosion are my favorite. What the hell is that? What'd you miss, Double O? I don't know. What's up? Yeah, pageantry. And a lot of people just like it. And I get that. It's like, people do love a good parade, man. I couldn't be Catholic. It's too expensive. Yeah, right. Because you don't have to tithe in your church. Uh, uh, oh, the course for becoming Catholic if you have to convert? The RCIA, let me guess, Roman Catholic Indoctrination Association. Well, yeah, you're gonna learn a lot if you don't come from that, tradition and you go and you you take the class and you learn what it is. Yeah, you're gonna learn a lot. There's nothing wrong with learning. I don't know how that would make anybody, wanna join it, but to each their own. Uh, I like the I like the ritual the I like the ritual and the incense. I do like incense, but it's like woo, isn't it? It's like really you're just putting the magic out there when you're blowing incense in a Christian church. I mean, that's just what is that? Is that magic somehow? Is it making God happy? Is God like, I like that church? They use the good sandalwood. Um, I what is it? All it is showmanship, I guess. Thanks for the follow, Audie May. Appreciate you. You almost quit 3 times. Tithing is an expectation from God, not from the church. Why does God need money? Why does God need money? If the tithing, we've had people comment that tithing is, what the church requires, not God, because God, if he needs money, then he's a con man too. Why would an all-powerful being who resides in heaven need money? Um, Honestly, I think you need to look a little bit deeper at your ideas, dude. I went to a Catholic church one time as a teen. It gave me the heebie-jeebies. Yeah, it was just too fucking long, man. Every time I've ever been to a Catholic church, it's like, man, we're gonna wrap this up, man. When I went to church, that shit was done, man. It was over at in an hour. If that shit went an hour and 10 minutes long, people were like, "All right, Pastor, time to wrap it up. Got to feed the chickens," It's like, yeah, but Catholic church is like, well, by the time they get done with all the voodoo and boogity boogity and hoo ha and pageantry, Bible kissing, and sticking stale wafers of shit in people's mouths and calling it Jesus' flesh. You're in there for 2 fucking hours, man. Who needs it, man? Like, there's football. There's football on. Remember the guy at the beginning of the show? Is he still here? He called me out for not watching UFC or football. I'm still like thinking about that. What is that? Hey, man, you're not a real man. You don't watch UFC. Uh, I remember being overjoyed when they said the line "Go in peace," best line of church. Yeah, that's like, actually, that's Catholic churches. That is a cool thing when they make you like turn and say hi to your neighbor, and shake hands. And that's like, all right, that I can get behind. That's creating goodwill and community and spreading COVID hand to hand, all that good stuff. But yeah, that's one of I mean, there's components of the Catholic mass that makes sense, in a community kind of way. I always did think that part was cool, and I wondered why my Protestant church never really did that. But it's because Protestants want to, you want to sit there quietly. You listen to the message, you get the fuck out, man. And this is mainline Protestantism. The evangelical Protestants now, and others Pentecostals. That's something got people are going to be talking about. Amen. Oh, amen. Or yes, yes. Preacher says something, like, people are like, yes. Yes. Oh, amen. Praise the Lord. Oh, it's so true. And the first time I ever saw a church like that, I was like, you don't talk in church. You don't fucking talk in church, man. What's wrong with you? Unless you're trying to get up and sing, man. You don't talk in church. Have you watched rugby? A little bit, a little bit. Somebody invited me to play rugby, and I was just like, I'm not a big guy. And he's like, I never thought you were too small because I'm stout, I mean, I just never thought you were too small to play rugby. But I was like, I don't know, man. I don't need to get smashed to death by a bunch of big dudes. But yeah, I don't know much about rugby, but I've seen it. You seem like a really cool dad. Thanks, man. My kids think so. Thanks, baby. Basically, the best part of church was when it was over. Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it. Before it began and when it was over, I loved church, man, because I loved getting there first. I loved seeing who was coming. I loved jamming with my friends. I loved the little gossip, your little teenage gossip, or your elementary school. He didn't come today, or where's this so and so, or did you hear this person getting divorced, or did somebody died? And then like the actual service part was like, when's it gonna end? And the hymns are okay because I could sing. I like the hymns. But then, like, is the sermon going to be utterly boring? Is it going to be just kind of boring? Is it going to actually be, something you can grab onto that day? And it was always a crapshoot. But yeah, the actuality of the church service was the worst part. The rest of it was okay. Um, I was involved. We used a mimeograph machine. I'd be up there, me and my buddy be up there. You guys remember that thing? The old carbon copy thing with the drum on it, and you put the original on it, and it was the ink. And this is the day, man. And that's how we would print the programs, right? For the church, with the order of worship. Every week there would be a new one, based on what was going to go on that day. Because sometimes there'd be a baptism, right? Somebody had a baby, and there would be something else. So it was different. And me and my buddies would be like those volunteers. Would be like up in the loft in the church, like using that machine and running off uh, the mimeographs. Really old school. And we got to ring the bell, right? We had to go up in the steeple, climb up on this rickety ass fucking ladder up in this old timey white church on a hill in New England steeple, and then we go ding, ding. We crank on that bell. So all that was great, Then suffering through the service was the worst part. Best part of church was staring at the pretty girls in ponytails. Now I have a ponytail kink. I do have a ponytail kink myself, but I don't remember one damn pretty girl in my church. I gotta tell you, I went to a small ass town, and the girls who were prettiest in my school did not go to church. The more I read the Bible, the less I believed. Well, that's what happens. You know what I mean? If you read the Bible, it becomes clear. If you actually read it with understanding, it becomes clear that it's not the Word of God. It's not a holy book. It's simply one of our oldest historical documents, and the history can't even be counted on to be very true. It's just the ancient writings of Jewish people and them trying to make sense of their society, trying to write down some rules for living, and trying to record some of their history. It's an amalgamation of all of those things. There's nothing about it that anybody who reads it from front to back could really think is the word of God. And it's the same with the Quran. This guy keeps on bugging me on Instagram, and he's a nice guy. He really wants me to find something inspirational. I'm getting through the Quran. It's like chapter 11 now, and literally I'm waiting for the chapter that's got something new in it. It's so obviously not the word of a God that it's painful. When people say how beautiful and perfect it is, I'm like, what book are you fucking reading? Because it flops back and forth. It can't maintain a line of thinking before it jumps to back to another point, and then maybe back to the original one again. It flops around. It's clearly written by people who listened and were trying to remember, and wrote down what a dude was saying off the top of his head. And it repeats itself. It's threatening to non-believers. It like overstates God's wisdom and greatness and mercy and all of this shit all the time. It continually talks about the reward of rivers of a garden. God will reward you with gardens neath which rivers flow. Well, yeah, if you live in a desert, then an eternal oasis is obviously the dream, right? I mean, then what could be more evocative than a desert dweller being blessed with a garden neath which a river flows? And it's like over and over and over and over again, the same phraseology. And then back to threatening the non-believer, and then back to telling people that God hardened the heart, and it constantly talks about how God will harden the heart of who he wants, and God will open the heart of who he wants. So if some people don't believe, it says right in the Quran, if some people don't believe the Quran, it's because God hardened their heart. It admits that if there's a God out there, he made us the way we are, and he knew which ones of us would believe this shit and which ones of us wouldn't. It's just silly. Honestly, the whole thing is silly beyond belief. So yes, back to the original point. If you read the Bible and really read it, you will end up an atheist, if you have any brain power. Book of Enoch. Somebody else brought that up last time. I've not looked at the Book of Enoch. Maybe I'm gonna write that down on my list. Book of Enoch. Isn't that Denzel Washington movie? That's Book of Eli. The Quran literally says the word of God must be ordinary. I don't think I've gotten to that passage yet. At least it says it's the word of God. I got to give it credit there. The Bible doesn't ever like start with like this is the word of God. Whatever you read after this, and have faith. There's no reason to question that this is the ultimate word of God. Bible doesn't really say that anywhere. It's just like tradition. Oh, this was the word of God. When we know that like it was written over thousands of years by a ridiculous amount of different authors, but all of them somehow were like imbued with God's message, and it makes sense that they go together. And this when it doesn't, when you read it, it obviously doesn't. Contradictions left and right, and all this guy. Biddy Buddha, what's up, my gal? Thanks for the TikToks. Love you. Job, yeah, Job's tough, right? Oh man, God fucked with Job. But we have free will, we have free will to do what we want, except poor Job. Yeah, it's the same thing. God hardened Pharaoh's heart. Thanks, MG Ultra 86. It's that God hardened Pharaoh's heart. Well, how is it Pharaoh's fault if God is hardening his heart? It's surprising. It's so stupid that it surprises me that the writers of the Bible who had some shit together didn't see that. It's an obvious point of logic, and the Quran is full of it. It's absolutely full of it. The Quran literally says the word of God must be orderly. That makes more sense. Yeah. Well, all you got to do is read it to know it's not orderly. I'm halfway through it, and it's like anything but orderly. It's completely disorderly. It's random. It's chaotic. It goes back and forth. It's rambling. It's repetitive. It's beat. It's just beat. And every time I hear a Muslim going, it's just like such a beautiful. How could Muhammad have written such a beautiful book if it wasn't from God? I'm like, have you read the fucking thing? It's terrible. Book of Job messed me up. Some days I feel like Job. Where you going?
Shopping.
You going shopping?
Mhm.
Grocery shopping?
No. What you mean?
I don't know. What do you guys need? She's going shopping.
Not for them.
No?
No.
Come on, this is my friends. I stopped reading when it says when it says the apostles were Muslims. I did get to that point. I was like, what? But that's the whole bit, It's like he's like, the Quran, and that's a sort of a consistency there. That the Quran is a correction, right? The people of the book, the people of the Bible have strayed from the message, right? And they fucked up their own religions, but they all were supposedly Muslims, you know what I mean? And now here is Muhammad to write down or to dictate what God's final correction for folks. And again, it's another thing that kills me is um, this cat who was promulgating the idea that um, Christianity is all religions are man's search for God, right? I'm about to do a video on this. But all religions are man's search for God, which is true. You can't really argue with that. All religion is made up because mankind looking for God, but Christianity is God's attempt to reach man. A Muslim would say the exact same thing. The Quran is God's final attempt to reach man. It's like, hey, you guys keep fucking this up. You keep fucking it up. So I'm gonna do it one more time. This Arab with the fucking with the taste for little girls is gonna be my guy. He's gonna fucking write down what I say. But he's gonna write down what I tell Gabriel to tell him to say, and he's not gonna write it down. He's gonna have other people write it down because he can't write. But this is gonna be it. This is gonna be the real word of me, of God. And it's going to be my attempt to reach humanity. A Muslim would say the exact same thing. So how is Christian exceptionalism again? Christian privilege, um, um, the idea that Christians are superior, Christian superiority complex. That their religion is so much better than the other religions, when really there's no religion in the world that can claim to be better than any other religion, because none of them have any more evidence for their truth than any other one. So to say that is patently stupid. Um, every religion could say that it's their religion is God's attempt to reach man. Remember, there's no white people in the Bible. That's so true. Book of Mormon is the final attempt. Yeah, see, there you go. We got, the Mormons can say the same fucking thing. And our final attempt only came in 1785 or whatever the fuck it was. That's like, newer. And maybe like Scientologists, like, no, Dianetics is the last attempt Wait, no, there's one more coming, man, because people keep fucking it up. God's in fact, wait, I'm gonna write one right now. Here's God's last attempt to reach mankind. Give it the fuck up. There. This is my short ass book. Hindus, Buddhists, and Amish are fine, in my opinion, very anti-problematic. I don't know, dude. Hindus invented the caste system, and the concept of the untouchable is one of the most disgusting pieces of anti-humanist rhetoric that's ever been foisted upon the planet. Buddhists routinely persecute people who aren't Buddhists and have been doing so for a long time in Asia. And there is rampant sexual abuse of children in Buddhist temples that goes unnoticed, thanks to the Catholics getting all the headlines there. And the Amish, they seem cool. They're fucked up. Sexual abuse in the Amish community of the women in that community is a huge problem that doesn't get talked about. They're so insular, so isolated. Incest is a real issue, and there's some disgusting fucking stories that go on in Amish families because, again, they're so isolated. They're insular. They discourage involvement with the outside world. Women are put down, beaten back, kept at home, and sex is demonized. And so you got teenage boys, and they got hormones running through their bodies, but society won't let them. Their society won't let them go out and experiment sexually. And so it's something like cookies in a cookie jar on the top shelf that they can't have. And all of a sudden, there's the sister at home, quiet, beaten back, downtrodden, oppressed, minimalized, marginalized, completely discounted as a human being, and all of a sudden she's getting raped by every man in her family. If you don't think this is going on in the Amish church, then you're fucking fooling yourself. Ever read Lord of the Rings? Such stories must be real. Oh, you're talking to somebody else. But the Balrog is here. What's up, Balrog? Oh, my guy. Haven't seen you in a while, bud. You shall not pass. Yeah, if you ever see an Amish house with a red sheet hanging out the window, what's mm-mm. Technically, they swim in the shallow end of Christ. Jedediah. I didn't know any of that negative stuff about the Amish. Yeah, they have such a squeaky clean image, I mean, and I'm not trying to paint all Amish with the same brush. Obviously, that there's plenty of good Amish people out there, but this is one of the problems that arise when you have a cult like that, where involvement in the outside world is discouraged. You have this kind of abuse that goes on in secret, and it doesn't get any headlines. It doesn't, they keep it within themselves, and they protect the abusers, and it's ugly stuff. The ZZZ lady wants a whistleblower. This is for you, baby. I love you. Thanks for being here. With your big smile. Taking a look at your profile pic. Yeah, the shunning that goes on. Thank you. They are all cults. Who else? Yeah, you do forget that the Amish exist. That's the thing. They cut such a low profile in society, and they're quaint, right? You go, we're close to Illinois. There's not so many Amish in Wisconsin, but there's a lot in Illinois. There's a lot in Indiana. There's tons in Ohio and Pennsylvania. Of course, that's that belt there. If we used to go get our horses from Napanee, in Indiana, which is just a huge Amish community, and there they are going down the friggin' highway with their carriages, and you're like, oh, that's so awesome. They don't use technology, and we've really lost the knowledge of the way that you just live, your community and live off the land, and you don't need all of this crazy cell phone technology and X-rays and gamma rays coming at you from TV screen. Oh, aren't those Amish just awesome? And you know, they get some fucking funky ass crazy shit going on behind closed doors. Believe it, man. So the only good religion is Satanism? Yeah, I don't know about that. I think Dudism is pretty good. I think Pastafarianism is pretty good. I think Rastafarianism is pretty good. I think religious thought in general is not conducive to progression. Of the human species or of our mind's capabilities. And I get some argument there because religion for self-help for adults does do some good. People who have brought themselves out of severe addiction or other really really shitty ways of living, and have gotten over it through religion. Who you gonna how can you say that that's bad? But again, it's an adult choice. And I think um, a healthy spiritual life is important for most people. I think we all feel the connection to the universe. We all feel wonder at the beauty of the world around us. We all feel some kind of metaphysical connection, to each other or to the universe, or the idea that there's something greater out there. This is human nature and part of our evolved minds. Um, I'm not immune to it myself. I love. To me, it's all just science that we haven't learned yet. The connection. Looking into the druids today, and my dad talking about seeing himself as a druid, where you venerate nature and you feel like every living thing has a spirit in it, and we're all connected via those spirits. Like I get that thinking, and it's much more um, logical than the mythological cycles of the Abrahamic faiths, which don't make any sense at all and are based on fear and guilt, the whole carrot and stick thing, right? Do this or get punished. Um, the nature worship and the idea that every living thing is connected. That's to me, that's science that can be discovered at some point. They've already discovered the mycorrhizae that connects all plant life on the planet, basically. And I've never been one to discount the idea that plants have a, a, I don't know if consciousness is the right word, but a, a being that we don't really understand. We don't really study an understanding of their own selves. I think we see that in the way that plants act, and I think that these things are just science we don't understand yet, and I have no problem with that. And I think that the druids. The modern druids, not the ones who used to sacrifice people inside of a wicker man, but I think people who will use that term druidism in the modern day are more on the right track, at least in terms of feeding your mind in a healthy way with these kinds of meditative thoughts and philosophies. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's just why I love paganism, and I love druidism, and I love um, the resurgence that these kinds of philosophies have enjoyed in the post-Christian era. Could AI become God? No. God is dead? Yes. I don't like Satanism. They're all bastards. Why? Why are Satanists bastards? Bastard has a D, by the way. Um, Jesus died too. Yeah, he did a long fucking time ago. Jesus is dead and rotten. I feel awe standing in nature or in garden, especially after eating shrooms. Yes, I feel that awe too. Whenever I eat shrooms, I do feel awe. There's no doubt about it. Hammurabi's code is greater than the Ten Commandments. Yeah, I'd have to look up Hammurabi's code, but it's basically a version of the same thing, right? Rules to live by that just make sense for getting along in society. God died in 2012, did he? Really? I missed the funeral. Liam Neeson is not dead. He'll never die, man. He's just gonna come and kick somebody's ass again. He'll be like 95. He'll be out there like, "Hey, you took my daughter. I have skills I haven't used." I talk to my plants. I figure the carbon dioxide hit is good for them. Yeah, for sure. And then they'll make more oxygen for you. See, I worked with a man who had conversations with plants. Yeah, well, that's I won't quite go there. But I do like hugging trees. You know why? Because the bark of a good tree that's got a rough bark is an awesome hand massage. I'm like, reflexology is pseudoscience, but it does feel awful good, and nothing feels better than having your hands massaged. You find a good hackberry with good rugged, ripply bark. I just rub my hands on it, thinking it makes my whole body shiver. because it just feels so good. And my feet too. A lot of people can't take that, but I do that with my feet. Maybe be like too ticklish. I touch my feet, but yeah, I'll get on like a surface like that and rub my bare feet on them, and I think that's therapeutic for the body. The devil was the son of God, the fallen angel. Thanks, Lloyd, for updating us on the myth. The devil is not real. Neither are angels or God. Convert to neo-paganism, brothers. Hey, man, it's better than converting to Christianity. That's for sure. Hammurabi comes from the line of Cain. There's no line of Cain. Cain is a myth. If string theory is correct, everything in the universe is connected. Kevin and I are gonna do. You still on, Kev? Kevin and I are gonna talk about string theory because I don't really understand it, and he's really into it, and I want to learn. So we're gonna do a dual live. I'm not sure. I might be too busy this week, Kev, if you're there, but we'll get together on that for sure because I'm very interesting. Rubbing up on trees sounds slightly illegal. No, no, especially if they're your trees. I don't recommend rubbing your pee on them because that might get you arrested for like indecent exposure. But I highly recommend rubbing your hands on trees or your back like a bear. Yeah, that's good stuff. If the devil isn't real, how come so many mascots? You mean like school mascots, like the Blue Demons, or like the who else has a devil mascot? Well, you're right. A lot of those schools did. I wonder why they haven't been beaten down to get rid of them. Like the Tampa Bay Devil Rays had to change their names to just the Rays because of the Christians in Florida. You guys know that, right? That made me so fucking mad. And I could give a shit about the Tampa Bay Rays, honest to God, or Tampa Bay. Um, but I thought the Devil Ray is a type of stingray. The Tampa Bay Devil Ray. It just was such a great name. And here we had they had to change their name because of the Christians in Florida who were just like, oh, we don't want our baseball team evoking the devil. You fucking idiots. There's no devil. But meanwhile, everybody's got to run around and take their Native American um, oriented names out right now. Washington is not the Redskins anymore. The Washington football team. They couldn't even come up with a new name. How fucking lame is that, man? They got rid of the Redskins, which as far as I know didn't offend any actual Native Americans. This is always ultra liberals, always white people who are offended by these names. It's very rarely an Indian nation is like, hey, why are you calling your team the Chiefs? That's insulting, right? Isn't this an issue in society? People who are insulted for people who aren't even insulted. Again, it's why the left can't get anything done in this country. I've met the devil. She's married to my brother. Dukes are the Danes. I don't know what that means. Yeah, there are proof that devil is real. Undeniable proof that the devil is real. Funny. That's funny how no scientist has ever written a paper about the proofs of that the devil is real. Undeniable, though. Oh boy. I hate Skittles. Comments. Ote kifsa nenen nepid te seems. I don't have any idea. Oh yeah, thank you. The Sun Devils from Arizona State. The devil exists in our minds. Yeah, well, so does God. I mean, even atheists, God exists in our minds because it's a concept that we all have to live with and have beaten over our fucking heads every day. That's why we need religion. Let's see. Off the Chain Atheist is on YouTube, or was anyway. Sorry, buddy. Didn't see you there in time. I switch off of that screen to look at something and then I forget to look back and then I miss somebody. But TikTok is where the action is, so I apologize for that. If you guys are trying to watch on YouTube, there's just not enough interplay for me to keep busy. And there's so many comments here on TikTok. I hear Tom Cruise has a cryo freezer at his house to freeze him when he dies. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the guy's got to have an ego as big as as big as all of New Jersey. The Dukes in Genesis. I don't know what that means. Washington couldn't get a name because of the legalities. What does that mean? Why couldn't they make up a name? The Washington dicks in the asses. I don't know. The Washington putzes. The Washington booty touchers. All modern pagans are Harry Potter nerds, and why not, man? What's wrong with a Harry Potter nerd? J.K. Rowling, she went off the rails, didn't she, with her comments? But she really gave us a modern mythology, didn't she? That few people have done since someone like Tolkien. They're really evocative and reached people of all ages in a way that's really rare. Got to give it up for J.K. Why does the Bible say the earth is flat and held up by pillars? Because the Bible didn't know. The people who wrote the Bible didn't know about the earth, I guess. Some guy brought up a bunch of names and got a patent on them. For the Washington team, you mean? You think Jeff Bezos will cryo freeze himself? I don't know. Proud Muggle, says Terry Christensen. I don't know what that means. He came up with a bunch of names and got patent. I mean, that so they couldn't think of any name that wasn't patented. I'm not really sure why that's relevant. It's like, oh, we just give up. We can't find a name. We'll just got the football tape. Have you watched any Martin Cabello? Who's Martin Cabello? I've never heard of him. I love Harry Potter too, but there's a difference between fantasy and playing with fire. What does that mean? Who else but Alan? What's that mean? I'll give you two. Who else but Alan? There's a difference between fantasy and playing with fire. Are you trying to say that Harry Potter is playing with fire? The Washington Wildflowers. That'd be a pretty name for a football team, right? Her friend asked her to finish it and publish it. A religious cousin says calling God. Whoops. A religious cousin says calling God the ultimate contact tracer would backfire. Don't know what that means. Did you know Mormons baptize for the dead? Yeah, I did know that. Right? They retro baptize people. Oh, J.K. almost threw out the first book, and a friend convinced her to publish it. She's glad she did, right? She's a fucking zillionaire now because of it. Mother Teresa would do that too. Do what? Mother Teresa was evil, wasn't she? I think it's pretty been well exposed that Mother Teresa was not the saint that people were sold. Should settlement of Mars be left to Uber capitalists, like the people behind Uber, or you mean Uber capitalists? Like I don't know. I think it might be just because that's the way it works out with the money. I don't know if it should be or not. No, I think it should probably be at least involving NASA. But I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I tend to think that privatization of most things is the way to go. But it does get us into problems when it becomes something that only the elite can afford. And to me, colonization of Mars is a long way off. We need to research what we can learn scientifically from Mars first, and actually working on colonizing it is going to be probably default to people like Bezos and who's the Virgin guy, Richard Branson, right? People like that who have the money to do it. Otherwise, it's like, where are we going to raise taxes again to support the colonization of a planet that it's going to take so much money, so much effort. I don't know. That's an interesting question. Thank you. One of the better questions I've seen here. I have no idea how to answer that. if we can terraform Mars, then we could fix Earth. What's to fix about Earth? The Earth has pretty much shown that it'll fix itself when we kill ourselves off, no matter what kind of plastic or oil we've left on it. It it will get over that. Remember the Exxon Valdez in Alaska and how horrible and world ending people thought that was going to be, and it's pretty remarkable how nature heals itself and the Earth heals itself once it gets left alone to do that. So I'm not sure that there's something that we need to fix about Earth, that Earth won't fix itself once we've killed ourselves off with our idiocy. Elon Musk is in the lead for Mars. Yeah, Mother Teresa reused needles, refused to give patients pain meds. Thank you, non-crazy crazy cat lady, for detailing what we know about Mother Teresa. Because suffering brings you closer to God. This is a fucking sick fucking part of Christianity, isn't it? With that suffering and pain is brings you closer to God. Why? Because you're desperate and you call out for help to an unknown, unsupportable creator that you think. I mean, we all feel that desperation where you're like, oh, please, whether you're screaming at the universe or you actually believe in God and He's listening, or you don't know what else to do, so you're on your knees going, please, take this away. The idea that you're closest to God when you're in pain and suffering is more evidence that there is no God to me, because when you're in your right mind, in your rational mind, you don't think that way. But God exists because of pain and suffering. And so Lenin said, God is a way by which we measure our pain. And it's true. If everybody had a perfect life and there was never any suffering at all, there likely would never have been a God made up, much past the idea that God was in charge of the sun, or the sun was God in the early days. There's those two components, right, of religion. The component that answers natural questions. Where does the sun go at night? Where does it go in the winter? Where does it come from? How are we going to ensure that it comes back every year and that the crops grow? And then the other part of religion is what about us? What happens when we die? What's the nature of our existence? Why are we here? Oh, those two things. So um, that would make the one part of it go away, and science has already made the other part go away. So yeah, if there wasn't any suffering, there wouldn't be any God anymore. I can never judge Mother T. She was in the trenches. Um, yeah, but I don't know. I think you need to read. I haven't read enough to really talk about it, but she's been exposed as a pretty shitty person. Yeah, she did. That's again, she raised a huge amount of money and then all into the church. Tom Barber says, "How? How what? How? Hello, comrade. What's up? Gvozdem nevgo, gvozdem nevgolovu, gvozdem nevgolovu. Hello, comrade. How are you today? Are you communist? Catch you later, Double O. Thanks for checking in, my friend. Appreciate you. Long time. How are the religion? No way. How are the religion? No way. I don't know what that means, Tom. I'm pretty good, man. How are you doing? Tom Barber, buddy, you're not making sense. Or what's he saying? How are the religion away? No way. And Dingo C says Norway. I don't know what he's trying to ask. Um, yes, yeah, Norway. How are the religion Norway? It still doesn't make sense. It's nice of you, Mount Laurel, not to judge, but I think that a lot of research has been done. You said it. I gone. Okay, Tom. Have I quoted Lenin? I was quoting John Lennon, not Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. Sorry, is he Lennon one of your heroes? You commie? That's cool, man. But no, I was quoting John Lennon. Religion in socially evolved countries, it has gone away. Religion. No, you're not a communist. Are you Russian with that conglomeration of G's, V's, D's, Z's, and M's and O's that you got there in that name? You heard we heard you speaking Russian. Me? I don't think so. I wish I spoke Russian. I joined your stream and you were saying Lenin at the time. Yeah, I was quoting John Lennon, who said that God is God is the way we measure our pain. Tom, you're not making sense, buddy. So you're speaking in partial sentences. Seems a maggot. If you heard me speaking Russian, it was just because I was trying to pronounce this cat's name. Gvozdem v Golovu. Sounds Russian, right? Gvozdem v Golovu. Am I saying something? I have no idea. I pronounce my nickname. That's why they think you speak Russian. I got it. Thank you. That's awesome. I mean, but that's my thing. I can see words, pronounce words, and say words that I don't know what they mean because I have an understanding of a lot of languages, and so there's nothing wrong with speaking Russian. If I was saying this guy's name, my name translates "nail in my head." Okay, we have a Russian bot in the chat. That's right. Finally, Paul understanding tongues. Yeah, no, that's one of my things. I can if somebody says something to me in any language, I can mimic what I hear, but it doesn't mean I'm speaking a language. So, uh, thank you. So it's just so I'm just reading what I see and assuming that it's Russian because of the way it looks. So I tried my best to just pronounce it with my Russian accent or no accent as you see it. That's awesome. Anyway, what's your stream about? We're just an atheist live, and we're about done. It's still almost 12:30. I produce atheist content on TikTok, and I go live twice a week, and we talk about whatever we want to talk about. It's generally ragging on religion or making fun of people who are religious, or sometimes we talk about pop culture. We talk about TV and food and language. You can read Spanish, but you have no idea what you're saying. That's what I'm getting at. So if you understand, the phonetics of the language, you can read it, you can say the words, um, but that doesn't mean you're gonna know what you're talking about. But not everybody has that talent either. You're looking at Spanish and pronouncing it completely wrong, based on English pronunciation. I was Christian, then actually read, understood the Bible. Now I'm not a Christian. Yeah, that'll happen. Thanks, Tom. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate you being here, buddy. There's one for Tom Barber. To be an atheist, doesn't it mean you have to prove that God or gods don't exist? No. To be an atheist means you don't believe that God exists or doesn't exist. None of us can prove it. Discuss religious authors picking God's pronouns. Um, why God's pronouns? Why we call God he? Matthew Dan, thanks, man. Um, well, the religions that we're used to in the West are patriarchies. That's why God is a he, because men wrote the stories and men assumed that they were better than women from the get-go because they were bigger and stronger and they could bash them around and they could do what they wanted. And so, we ended up with, you know, um, women being marginalized and oppressed in society from time immemorial. And that's, possibly a natural um, step in our evolution because, men being more aggressive, being bigger, being stronger in general, able to impose their will on people. And the obviousness of the patriarchy in Western religion is hard to overstate. It's clear that the divine feminine was removed. We don't talk of Asherah. We don't talk of Lilith. We don't talk of the divine feminine in any of the Western Abrahamic faiths, at least. And there are some religions around the world that are matriarchal, but none of the ones that we have to deal with. So, they wrote God to be a man, and they made up the idea that God created man first and created man in His image, which would make God a man with a big godly penis. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it. It seems pretty obvious to me. But yeah, the religion from the beginning has involved itself in putting down women, and that's a big problem for me. That's a big red flag for me. Why religion, at least Western Abrahamic faiths, are bullshit. They're they're terrible. They're homophobic. They're misogynistic. They're patriarchal. And they're just plain wrong, and they have no relevance to today's society, where we know that women aren't inferior to men just because men are bigger than women. It doesn't have anything to do with it, and we can learn a lot from, and society would in fact benefit from more female leadership and more leadership from other minorities, so that government actually represents the people and not just the powerful men. Damn, I like religion. Justice. Don't believe in God, though. I like religione. Just don't believe in God. Then are you Italian? I hate Skittles. Religione. He wrote religione, or is that a typo? Lo siento. One here. Thanks, Matt Hatter. Where you been, man? You've been quiet today. Who else but Alan finally got himself blocked, man? What did you do, man? You messed it up. Jesus is sus because in Jesus it says sus. Jesus. Yeah, Jesus is definitely sus. It's his blockers that are sus. I'm trying to find out what did this asshole say? Who else but Alan? What's up with Facebook's new meta logo? The use symbolism is interesting. I don't know. I stay off of Facebook. I haven't noticed they have a meta logo now. Oh, I see. Don't listen to LGBTQ. They only have one thing in mind, and that's what TV programs. What? Thanks for blocking that, dude. I have no idea what that means. Oh, so you don't like patriarchy? No. Do you? Atheists simply reject the idea of a creator burden of proof is on the believers. That's right. Jess Mutt, see? Interesting cat, this guy, Jess Mutt. Thanks for being here. Sorry you you don't believe in evolution, but it sounds like you're on the right track with some stuff, that's for sure. Facebook is renaming to Meta, says the Balrog. What? Don't believing and knowing have different definitions. Yeah, yeah. Are you still on the thing about atheists? We're atheists because we know we don't believe, right? We're agnostic because we know that we can't prove it. Agnosticism is about knowledge. Atheism is about belief. So if you're a theist, you don't know that there's God either, right? But you call yourself a theist because you believe in a God. It's about belief. They're renaming because they got exposed. Exposed as what? Of course, evolution happened, and we are still monkeys. Yes, some of us are more monkey than others. Matt, you found your kazoo. All right, bring it on. Facebook's new logo is it a stylized infinity symbol? All right, I guess I got to look. I don't know. Like I said, yes, of course you can be agnostic and atheist at the same time. We're all agnostic atheists because none of us know that there's no God. We just believe that there's no God based on the lack of evidence. So technically, We're all agnostic atheists, except for the few wacky, hardcore ones that, claim they can prove that there's no God, which there are some. I've met them, and they're not unreasonable because you're this close from disproving God just by, especially the Christian God. There's obviously no omnibenevolent God. There's too much evil in the world, too much pain and suffering, too much genocide, too much cancer in children, too much. There's no reason to believe that an omnibenevolent God exists. So if God does exist, he's not omnibenevolent. Maybe he's all powerful, but he clearly doesn't have any. She doesn't have any interaction with the people on the earth. So hard for me to call a creature like that a god if it's just a creator that managed to create this universe. That again doesn't speak to God to me. That's just a creator that created something that's too big for us to create. And why is that? Why is that God to anybody? Yeah, God is likely to be an algorithm. That's probably true. We are great apes, not monkeys. There's a difference there. Um, I think we use monkey in the common sense where, we're all just monkeys. No, I hate skill says I'm 100% atheist. He knows there's no God. See, I mean, there's some of us out there, and I support your effort at proposing that there's no God. I absolutely support it. I'm with you there. But yes, there's that graph, right, that shows whether you're an agnostic atheist, a gnostic atheist, a gnostic theist, or an agnostic theist. Nobody knows, nobody really knows, and nobody can prove it. Otherwise it would be proven and we would all feel the same way. That's why there's differing opinions. um Far and away most atheists are agnostic atheists because we admit that we can't prove there's no God. There's just no reason to believe in one. There's no reason to believe in a God. There's no evidence for it. There's no evidence for interaction. There's no obvious thought given to what goes on here on this planet by a creator. If there was no God, how do you get shadow banned? It's the algorithm, Bill. You know that, man. So maybe that's TikTok God is the algorithm. Your typing is awful today, says the Mad Hatter. Uh, that why you've been so quiet on the thread, or maybe I just been missing it. But uh, thanks for the likes, queer as fuck, and thanks all of you for being here. Could you imagine what you could do with a prehensile tail? Yeah, that would be good. That would be good. I do admit, I wouldn't mind a prehensile tail. If only for the simple things, hanging from trees, opening the door when your hands are full. There's some stuff. Never mind the weird shit you could get into. Yes, but have you seen trees? I believe you're never quiet, buddy. You just can't type today. You hungover? What about a creator had a creator ad absurdum argument? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know quite what you're getting there. Like, did the creator have a creator? Who created God? I mean, that's an obvious question for you know religions who try to purport that God's eternal. And everything had a creator, right? Everything had to have a creator. Everything that came from something had to have a cause. What caused God? Oh, not that. That whole special pleading thing. Um, with what I know, God doesn't have a gender. What do you know that can lead you to believe anything about God? I don't believe in God, and I can't prove that God doesn't exist. Does it make me agnostic or atheist? It makes you both. It makes you an agnostic atheist. We do own the term atheist because we've we want normalization for secular people. That's why most of the atheists that I know go ahead and call themselves atheists because we're sick of the euphemisms, right? Sick of being like free thinkers and humanists and secularists and rationalists and reasonists. We need people to be okay with other people being atheists, so we call ourselves atheists. But yes, everybody's agnostic. If you're going to use that strict definition, then everybody on the planet is an agnostic. You don't know. We don't know if God exists or not. We know that if it weren't for the concept of God, we wouldn't need to call ourselves atheists, right? Because it's just a reaction to the claims of theists. If there were no theists, we wouldn't need to call ourselves atheists. But yes, of course, if you don't believe in a God, but you can't prove there is a God, you are an agnostic atheist. that creator is greater. The creator created a creator loop was your agnostic endpoint. You lost me there. My name is Rob. What's your name? Gvozdemnev Golovu. Gvozdemnev Golovu. It's a tough one. I got to say, I had to look at that 3 or 4 times to say it. But is it fair to tell someone they are agnostic even when they deny the title? Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for an argument, but people deny the title, then they're among the people who think they can disprove God, and there are those people, and some of them are really smart people. Stephen Law figures he can disprove God with his evil God theory. Listen to episode 4 of the podcast, and you can hear about his ideas there. But yeah, I mean, you're just looking for a fight, I think, Jess. If you tell someone they're agnostic, even when they deny the title, try telling a Christian that they're agnostic. They're going to deny that title, but they are agnostic because they can't prove their God that they believe in. It's just a belief thing. Any thoughts on Trump coming back? Yeah, it makes me want to puke in my mouth a little bit. I consider myself an agnostic, but don't like when real atheists say it's weak. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm one of those guys. It's if you're an agnostic, but you don't believe in God, then you're. It's a bit of a cop out. I think you should own. If you don't believe there's a God, own the title atheist. And if people push you on and say, "Yeah, I'm an agnostic atheist," but I'm not going to call myself an agnostic because I know what I believe. I don't waffle on the belief issue, so I don't call me agnostic is used commonly by people who are just like, well, I don't really know. I'm not sure if I believe because you can't prove it one way or the other, so I'm just not sure. That's whether that's the true definition of agnosticism or not. That's how people use it. I'm an agnostic. They don't mean that they're just admitting that they don't know. They're admitting that they don't believe one way or the other. So they're fence sitters, And to me, that doesn't help anybody. Maybe makes you feel better. That's awesome. I'm not going to deny your right to call yourself an agnostic. But if everybody who called themselves an agnostic called themselves an atheist, and we all voted together against the religions in the country who are trying to form a theocracy, then we'd get a lot further. So I think we need to unite under one label. That's all. And so agnosticism, it doesn't get an upvote for me as a term. It's just we're admitting what everybody knows. We're all agnostic. So why bother labeling it? Everybody on the fucking planet is agnostic when it comes to the knowledge of God's existence. So it doesn't define anything about anybody. It's just to me it's a weak-minded, unnecessary euphemism for atheism. Fences are rather uncomfortable to sit in. I prefer not to do that. Yeah, tough to stay on, right? Yeah, not comfy, especially those barbed wire fences. You end up ripping up a lot of jeans. All right, you guys, I'm gonna blast off. It's way after 12:30 already. I went overtime. As a believer, I will never call the USA a Christian nation. Good for you, Jess. Yeah, I like you, man. You need to rethink yourself on Ken Hovind and evolution, but you're all right, buddy. Thanks for being here, and thank you all. Love you all so much, and appreciate you all being here every week for me. I love it so much. John from America. What's up, John from America? I'll give you a toot out on YouTube. Check us out on Wednesday. If you don't see me before then, we'll be back on Wednesday with another episode of the Atheist Underground Live on TikTok. I love you all. I would climb right through the screen and make love to every one of you in a row if I could. Sadly, I can't. Take care, everybody. I will see you soon.